Russian soldiers targeted by drones. Mine traps on the roads. Trapped Russian mechanized unit. Ukrainian artillery attack on Russian vehicles. Failed operations. Desperate Russian soldier. FPV drone attacks. Stay tuned for more. July 23rd, 2025. Ukraine's 414th Hungarian Birds UAV Brigade spotted a Russian soldier attempting to cross Ukrainian positions in the Zaporizhzhia region. An FPV kamikaze drone was immediately dispatched. The Russian soldier, having spotted the drone, attempted to shoot it down, but it was too late. A Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drone pursued a vehicle carrying ammunition on a Russian logistics route in the direction of Lyman. The FPV drone targeted the driver's compartment of the vehicle directly. July 22nd, 2025. The Zagrava unit of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade spotted a Russian soldier. The soldier struggled to escape the drone. He attempted to shoot it down or made sudden maneuvers, but he ultimately became the target of the FPV drone. Near Avdiivka, soldiers from the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade destroyed a Russian UR-77 Meteorite self-propelled rocket-assisted mine clearance vehicle. The attack triggered a massive explosion as the onboard ammunition detonated, amplifying the destruction. You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. A Russian soldier walking alone in the Luhansk region was targeted by a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone. The Russian soldier, who was alone on the front line, noticed the drone approaching him. He started running to find a place to hide. He didn't even have a weapon. However, he couldn't escape being targeted by the drone. On July 21st, a Russian BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher system was detected bombing Ukrainian positions in Novoyegorivka, Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian 59th Assault Brigade tracked the Russian vehicle and reached its supply position. Another BM-21 Grad vehicle also arrived in the same area. Ukrainian artillery units conducted precise strikes based on coordinates obtained from reconnaissance drones. Both Russian rocket systems were destroyed in a massive explosion. Additionally, ammunition depots were also eliminated. July 23rd, 2025. Ukrainian soldiers traveling in the vehicle ambushed by a Russian FPV drone. The drone was on the road, waiting for the soldiers to pass. Ukrainian soldiers tried to shoot down the drone, but failed. The drone began to follow them. They try to get away from the drone as fast as they can in a panic, but the drone is faster than the vehicle. But luckily, the Russian FPV drone missed its target. Ukrainian soldiers narrowly escaped the attack. A Russian self-propelled artillery system with a tracked chassis strikes a tank mine during movement. The powerful explosion severely damages the vehicle, triggering a secondary detonation of its onboard ammunition. Within moments, the entire system erupts in flames and is completely destroyed, leaving behind only wreckage as evidence of the blast. This time, Russian soldiers are in the crosshairs of Ukrainian drones. While advancing in a vehicle, they were about to be ambushed by a Ukrainian drone. However, one of the Russian soldiers managed to shoot down the drone, narrowly escaping the attack. A crawling soldier entered the radar of a Ukrainian kamikaze drone. At first, it was unclear what the object was, but it was later identified as a soldier, and even more surprisingly, a North Korean soldier. The FPV kamikaze drone locked onto the North Korean soldier and launched a direct attack. The soldier attempts evasive maneuvers to escape the drone, but it's not enough. He tries to shield himself with his weapon, using it as cover, yet he cannot escape the inevitable. The strike hits its target with devastating precision. While two Russian T-90 tanks were attacking Ukrainian positions, one of the Russian tanks was completely destroyed by a Javelin rocket used by Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian soldiers managed to escape from their vehicles seconds before a Russian FPV drone crashed into them. The Ukrainian Signum Battalion's FPV kamikaze drones destroyed all Russian vehicles on the Zaporizhzhia road. All vehicles used by Russian soldiers, whether moving or parked, were targeted. Drone operators infiltrated deep into the forest and destroyed supply vehicles as well. In the direction of Avdiivka, soldiers from Ukraine's 53rd Separate Mechanized Brigade effectively eliminated a Russian attack convoy. One Russian armored personnel carrier was destroyed by an FPV kamikaze drone. Another Russian armored vehicle hit an anti-tank mine while attempting to retreat. On July 21st, a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet dropped 3 GBU-39 guided bombs on Russian assault groups hiding in the basements of civilian homes. The Russian army encounters unexpected resistance during a large-scale attack on Ukrainian positions. First, one of the armored vehicles hits a mine and is destroyed. The Russian mechanized unit that arrived for the attack panics and loses its formation. The Russian attack group attempting to break through the defense line is being taken out one by one. Ukrainian soldiers are dealing heavy blows to the Russian attack group throughout the attack with drones, mortar attacks, and artillery strikes. 6 Russian armored vehicles are moving in a straight line, making them easy targets. The Russian infantrymen inside the vehicles continue to lose their lives, unable to respond. Drone operators continue their relentless attacks. July 20th, 2025. The footage shows a Ukrainian drone dropping a homemade incendiary bomb on a house used as a shelter by Russian soldiers. Ukraine's 56th Motorized Brigade is targeting Russian trenches by dropping bombs using unmanned aerial vehicles. These precision airstrikes allow Ukrainian forces to hit Russian positions without engaging in direct combat, causing significant damage and disrupting Russian defenses. 2 Russian soldiers were spotted by the 425th Separate Assault Battalion Scala while digging a trench for cover, but their efforts didn't last long. Within seconds, they became the target of an FPV drone strike. The Ukrainian 64th Mechanized Brigade is actively targeting Russian motorcycle-mounted soldiers with drones. Utilizing real-time aerial surveillance and precision strikes, the drones effectively disrupt enemy reconnaissance and rapid movement, significantly reducing their operational effectiveness on the battlefield. This tactic showcases Ukraine's growing dominance in modern drone warfare. These drone attacks not only neutralize high-mobility enemy units, but also create psychological pressure, forcing Russian forces to rethink their tactics. The Air Reconnaissance Unit of the 172nd Independent Battalion, part of the Ukrainian Armed Forces 120th Regional Defense Brigade, actively destroyed Russian positions and construction equipment used to reinforce lines in the eastern sector. The destruction of construction equipment used by Russian forces to fortify their positions significantly weakens their defensive lines and hampers their ability to reinforce and hold ground. 9 Russian soldiers were detected entering a trench. Ukrainian forces from the 25th Airborne Brigade launched an attack on the Russian soldiers' shelter using high-explosive kamikaze drones. Just seconds after the initial strike, a second wave of attacks followed. None of the soldiers inside managed to escape. The precision and speed of the drone strikes left no time for the Russian soldiers to react or retreat. Ukrainian forces have integrated advanced drone technology into their battlefield operations to effectively target Russian armored vehicles and defensive structures. Utilizing FPV, first-person view kamikaze drones and high-explosive quadcopters, Ukrainian units conduct real-time reconnaissance, target acquisition, and precision strikes without direct exposure to enemy fire. These drones are equipped with GPS and thermal imaging systems, enabling operators to identify Russian tanks, armored personnel carriers, artillery positions, and fortified bunkers even in low visibility conditions. Upon target confirmation, drones deploy explosive warheads with high accuracy, causing critical damage to vehicle engines, ammunition storage, and defensive fortifications. The use of autonomous and semi-autonomous drones in layered defense and offensive strategies exemplifies Ukraine's shift toward modern, technology-driven warfare.